It's Sunday, September 21st, 2014, and I'm Jacob Kaufman with Nerd on the Street News. So to start off with, last week we talked about the iPhone 6. This week it came out, and Apple CEO Tim Cook has been hanging out with people waiting for the new iPhone. He walked down the pre-order line at the Palo Alto store in California, and he took selfies with people and chatted with people. And it's not like that requires a whole lot of effort, and it's not a huge deal, but it does kind of show that Apple employees are getting more approachable. We've seen this with a few high-up employees, actually going around and talking to people at events. Obviously, Steve Jobs was great, but you wouldn't exactly want to go up and talk to him if you didn't have a good reason to. But yeah, the new employees, the new set of people high up at Apple are really trying to give a more casual look to the company. Now, the polar opposite of that story, Microsoft just fired another 2,100 people. They're doing that in an effort to cut down their company. Basically, they saw Apple's a small company, Apple's doing really well. They thought maybe we need to cut down a little bit so we don't have as much bureaucracy to go through every time we need to push an update out. Or as they call it, increasing synergies and strategic alignment. This is one of many cuts Microsoft has been making recently, and they've been doing it after purchasing companies. They purchased Lenovo and then laid off a bunch of people from Lenovo. They purchased Nokia, laid off a bunch of people from Nokia. Hoping they won't do this with Mojang. I don't think they have a reason to do that, because the main reason that they're firing people is because they bought Nokia, but they already had Windows Phone, so now they've got two sets of employees doing all the same jobs. So, of course, they favor their own Windows Phone employees. They say, Nokia people, you can go home. Our Windows Phone guys got it from here. So, yeah, that really sucks for companies getting bought out by Microsoft. It's Microsoft, what do you expect? In other news, Apple says it's protecting your information. They have gone on record that saying it is not technically feasible to hand over information to government agencies that request it when your passcode is enabled. So you must set a passcode on your device, and apparently if you do that, it will encrypt all your data with that passcode. And in an effort to match that technology, Android L will have encryption turned on by default. However, encryption is already on most Android phones. All you have to do is go into your privacy or security settings, whatever it's called on your ROM that you're using. Find encryption, turn it on. You will have to set a passcode. And yeah, that will make it physically impossible for law enforcement or for hackers to get to your information. Because even if they do steal your information, it will be encrypted with your passcode. So along those lines, use as secure of a passcode as you can. The entertainment industry is pressuring Netflix to block VPNs, and that sucks. Because some shows, such as Stargate, are available in some countries, such as Canada, but not available in other countries, such as the United States. So some people, totally not me, use VPNs to connect to Netflix in other countries, and that way they can watch shows that aren't available where they live. Of course, that keeps certain people from buying official media, such as DVDs or Blu-rays, and media companies don't like that. So yeah, if Netflix does decide to block VPNs, they can't totally 100% block VPNs, but they can block VPNs that they detect, hey, this is probably not a normal connection. And yeah, that will basically make it so that people using VPNs cannot watch what they're trying to watch. Why don't they just give us the same content in all countries? How come they get Stargate in Canada, but we don't get Stargate here? Especially considering Stargate was made by a US company. It was filmed in Canada. Whatever. Now, a quick sidebar, I do want to say it is bad for websites to block VPNs, even if using a VPN, kind of harms the website, even if you don't want people to be able to be anonymous on your website, so you want to block VPNs. That is bad for net neutrality, because say Netflix has a deal with Verizon where they prioritize Verizon connections over AT&T connections. Somebody with AT&T could use a Verizon VPN to get around that and use the fast lane. So bad for net neutrality, also bad for privacy, because a lot of people who work abroad depend on VPNs for secure connections to the internet. So regardless of what your motives are, don't block VPNs from your website. I mean, I have to go through so much crap with trolls on my website, and I block a lot of things like fake email address websites and things like that, but don't block VPNs. It's not good for the open web. I found this article and just thought it was really interesting. An Italian restaurant is giving 25% discounts for people who give them bad Yelp reviews. Yelp has been accused by some smaller companies of basically extortion, which is forcing businesses to pay to keep good reviews. So basically, hey, I see you've got some good reviews. You probably want to pay us some extra money, or else those good reviews might turn into bad reviews. Now, this has actually gone to courts, and courts have sided with Yelp for some reason. So yeah, even though it is against Yelp practices to offer incentives to give reviews, you can't say, I'll give you 25% off if you give me a 5-star review. This business is saying, I'll give you 25% off if you give me a 1-star review. They're aiming to be the worst rated business on Yelp. And I think that it's a nice way to do that. Yelp is actually saying that it still violates their terms of service, and they are threatening to sue. Good luck. I really hope that the business wins in that one. Finally, back to Apple. Apple removed HealthKit from iOS 8 as a last-minute thing. Of course, nobody noticed. Did you upgrade to iOS 8? Did you notice that HealthKit wasn't there? I know I didn't. Regardless of my personal thoughts about how HealthKit may be insignificant or useless at this point, apparently there was a bug, a major bug in HealthKit. Apple is not saying what this bug is. They're not saying the nature of the bug. They're not saying like if it was a security thing or not. They're not saying any details about this. All they said was, we found a bug, we pulled HealthKit, and they said that in a very low exposure announcement. Obviously it's not on the Apple front page because they're really trying to hide this, and as part of hiding the fact that they don't have HealthKit, they pulled all apps with HealthKit integration out of the App Store. Last minute, did not warn developers. And to that I say, what are you doing? Because those developers trusted you, Apple. Those developers said, you know what, I could develop my app with all my own libraries and everything, and I could make it work exactly the way that I want it to. But instead, Apple is telling me they've got this great new SDK called HealthKit, and they're saying that it's going to help my app. So I'm going to place my trust in Apple, I'm going to use their new SDK, HealthKit, and I am going to be one of the first people to try it out and possibly make HealthKit actually significant. And what does Apple do to reward them? They pull the apps. Because if people download apps with HealthKit integration and see errors because HealthKit isn't in iOS, then they're going to say, hey, Apple, what's up? So Apple says instead of allowing that to happen, they're just going to pull all the apps and let developers have delayed releases to deal with. So on the one hand, we've got Apple's CEO walking around taking selfies with people, and on the other hand, we've got Apple completely screwing developers over. So quit trying to act like you're a good company and just be a good company. And I sincerely mean that. I really do support Apple. Before I go today, I just wanted to let you all know that school has started back up. It's been in session for over a month now. Also, it is the middle of marching band season, so I have no Saturdays. So I've been pretty darn busy. I kind of feel like these news videos are a bit of a cheat. So yeah, I just want to let you know that the fun project videos are still coming. I am just doing them in my spare time, and I don't have as much of that right now. So yeah, you can stay up to date with all of the Nerd on the Street content at nerdonthestreet.com. If you're looking for something else to watch, remember we have an animated series called Displaced. Also, if you have any stories to submit to this news show, then you can do so at reddit.com/r/nerdonthestreet. For now, that's all I have. I'm Jacob Kaufman, I'm Nerd on the Street, and I will see you guys later. See ya.